She didn't change her mind, you changed your focus. The second she feels your attention slip, the game flips. And now, she's the one watching every move you make. This is what happens when a woman realizes you are no longer hooked, when the energy you once poured into her begins to recede like a tide pulling back from the shore. Most men never understand what unfolds in her mind during this process because they are too busy reacting, too caught up in their own anxiety to see the psychological machinery turning behind her eyes. But if you want to navigate this terrain with clarity, if you want to keep your peace while she processes the shift, you need to understand exactly what is happening beneath the surface. Women are not mysterious creatures operating on some alien frequency. They are human beings with predictable psychological responses to loss, rejection, and the sudden withdrawal of attention. And when you stop feeding the fire, she does not simply shrug and move on. She goes through a cycle, a sequence of stages that reveal more about her relationship with control than they do about her feelings for you. Welcome to the breakdown of what really happens when she realizes you are no longer chasing. The first stage is the quiet panic. When a woman senses you slipping away, it does not always start with fireworks or screaming fights. It begins with something much quieter, something she will not admit to herself, let alone to anyone else. Panic. And the funny thing about panic is it rarely shows up with sirens. It hides behind her pride, behind casual "I'm fine" texts, behind the silence you cannot quite read. But deep inside, she is scrambling. Most women get used to being perceived from an early age. They are used to men orbiting around them like moths circling a lamp. Compliments, quick replies, that eager tone every time she calls. These things create a rhythm she comes to expect. It becomes a background hum, a constant reassurance that she is seen, valued, desired. So when you start to slow down, when your replies do not fly back within minutes, when the compliments stop rolling in, that rhythm breaks. And when it breaks, she panics. At first, she does not admit it, not even to herself. She tells her mind he is just busy, he is tired, it is work. She looks for excuses that soften the sting, explanations that keep her ego intact. But as hours turn into days and the energy does not bounce back, the thought starts nagging louder. What if it is not work? What if it is me? That is when she replays everything, every little laugh, every time you lit up at her texts, every night you stayed up talking. She starts scanning her memory like a detective looking for the missing clue, trying to pinpoint when exactly she lost her grip. And this overthinking does not let her rest. She can be out with friends, smiling for pictures, but in her head, she is circling the same question. Why does he feel different? Now here's the truth most men miss. This panic is not always about losing you as a person. It is often about losing the control she once had over your emotions. She is not only afraid of you moving on, she is terrified of her power fading. Because power, attention, validation, your energy, these things feed her ego. And when that supply cuts off, the crash is real. How do you see this panic? It is subtle. A sudden "hey" text, late at night. Random questions she does not need to ask. A picture she sends out of nowhere. On the surface, it looks casual. Underneath, it is her way of checking your pulse. And your best move is to stay steady. Do not punish. Do not play hard to get in a childish way. Simply keep your life full and replies calm. She will feel the shift more in your peace than in any speech you could give. And that calm, the quiet steadiness of a man who is not thrown off balance by her absence, that is the very thing that makes her panic louder in her own mind. The Stoic philosopher Musonius Rufus observed that we should not use our words to command, but to persuade and to teach. When you respond with calm rather than desperation, you are teaching her something she cannot unlearn. You are teaching her that your emotional state does not depend on her attention. The second stage is the tests. When panic sits in her chest long enough, she does not just sit with it. She needs proof. Not proof that you love her, not proof that you are the one. What she is really hunting for is proof that she still holds influence over you, that her presence can still bend your emotions. And the way she looks for that proof is through tests. Most of these tests will not be obvious. They will not come wrapped in big dramatic fights. They sneak in quietly, disguised as casual gestures. A random message pops up, "Hey, remember that time we went to that little cafe?" Or maybe she sends you a selfie, one that looks natural but took 10 tries in the mirror. These are not innocent acts. They are small probes, little experiments to see if you will still light up the way you once did. Pay attention. It is not about the words she uses. It is about the timing, the subtle pull. She will bring up old inside jokes because she knows they used to make you smile. If you melt and laugh like old times, she breathes easier. If you stay cool and move on, her chest tightens. Social media is another stage where these tests play out. Suddenly, she is posting more stories, more pictures, more living my best life clips. None of it is random. The hair, the angle, the crowd in the background, all chosen with care. She is not just sharing her life, she is waiting. Waiting to see if you will swipe up, leave a comment, or drop a like because your reaction tells her if she still lives in your head. Sometimes the test is verbal. She will slip another man's name into conversation. "Oh, my coworker was so helpful today." She watches your face like a hawk. If your tone sharpens or your energy shifts, she silently celebrates. Got him. He still cares. But if you stay calm, if you do not even blink, she feels her control sliding away. Here is the kicker. Every test she throws your way carries the same hidden question. Do I still matter? Do I still own space in your emotions? And the trap most men fall into is answering that question with too much energy. They reply too fast, too long, too warm. They get pulled back into the orbit without even realizing it. So, what do? You do not fight. You do not play games. You do not need to act cold. You just stay steady, respond when you want, not when you are forced. Keep it short, clear, polite. Do not overcompensate. Do not underplay. Just show through your calm that you are not living for her approval anymore. Because here is the truth. Her tests are not about love. They are about control. And the moment you stop reacting like a puppet, the strings stop working. That is when she realizes the old tricks do not move you anymore. And that realization unsettles her more than anything else. The philosopher Heraclitus, a Stoic, who wrote extensively on ethics, observed that we should approach others as we would approach ourselves with patience and understanding. When you respond to her tests with patience rather than panic, you are treating yourself with the same respect you would want from anyone else. The third stage is the performed indifference. When her tests do not give her the comfort she is searching for, she flips to another move, acting like she does not care. This one is common. She will mask her panic with pride, try to bury her confusion under an "I'm good" attitude. On the surface, she looks untouchable. Inside, she is restless. You will see it in her behavior. Suddenly, she is posting pictures with captions like, "just focusing on me," or "good vibes only." Her stories might show her out laughing, dancing, surrounded by people. It looks like she is thriving, but if you zoom out, you will notice something: the timing. She was not posting like this before you pulled back. Now, it is a show. Real indifference does not need an audience. She will stop texting first, not because she does not want to, but because she wants you to think she does not need to. She will purposely leave you on read, stretch out replies, maybe even mirror your slower energy, trying to make you second-guess yourself. All of this is theater, a shield to protect her pride from the sting of rejection, but underneath, she is watching. Every story she posts, she checks if you viewed it. Every silence she gives, she waits to see if you will break it. The performance is not for her. It is for you. She is trying to control the narrative. Look at me. I am fine. I do not need you. But the very effort to prove it betrays her. Most men fall into this trap. They see her sudden indifference, panic themselves, and chase harder to fix things. They drown her inbox with long paragraphs or try to match her show with their own. That is exactly what she wants. Your reaction, because reaction equals proof. Your best response is to not chase shadows. Do not compete with her performance. Stay steady. Keep your energy focused on your life, your health, your goals, your craft. Respond when you want, not when she is baiting you. Respect her space, but do not let her silence shake you. Here's the paradox. When you do not react, her "I don't care" act starts to crack because it was never real indifference, only a mask. And when masks slip, truth shows. Deep down, she is unsettled by the idea that you really might have moved on. That thought alone keeps her awake even while she is trying to convince the world she is already over you. The fourth stage is the jealousy triggers. When the mask of indifference does not bring you back, she pulls out a move as old as human nature: jealousy. Jealousy works on most men. It hits that primal nerve, makes them feel they are losing ground to another. That is why she plays this card. At first, it is subtle. She will casually mention a male coworker who really gets her, or she will talk about a friend who complimented her. She is not pouring out details. She does not need to. She is dropping a name, planting a seed, and watching your reaction. If your tone shifts or your expression changes, she knows she still has got leverage. If subtle does not work, she turns up the heat. Suddenly, her social media looks different. More nights out, pictures where other men are in the frame. A photo with her leaning just a bit too close, a tag that hints at male company. None of it is random. Every image is calculated to poke at your ego. Sometimes the jealousy play is direct. She flirts in front of you, laughs harder at another guy's jokes, lights up when someone else enters the room. She is not doing it because she is deeply interested in those men. It is all about you. She wants to see if she can still spark jealousy in you, still make you feel like you are at risk of being replaced. Here is the key. Jealousy is rarely about love. It is about control. If she truly moved on, she would not care whether you noticed her with other men or not. The fact that she is putting it in your line of sight means it is aimed at you. It is her last attempt to tug your emotions back into her orbit. Most men fail here. They lash out, question her, demand explanations, and in doing so, they hand her the very proof she was looking for. I still have power over him. Your best move is to stay calm. Do not let her stage provoke you. If you are committed, set boundaries with clarity. If you are not, then do not bite. Indifference is your shield. The moment she sees that her attempts do not shake you, that jealousy card loses its magic. And when it fails, it cuts into her pride, making her wonder if she has truly lost her grip on you. The fifth stage is the desperate chase. When panic, tests, masks, and jealousy all fail, something shifts. Pride takes a backseat to fear, and she enters the phase most men never expect, the desperate chase. They finally understand this is not her natural role. Most women are used to being chased, not chasing. So, when she starts pursuing, it means she feels something slipping away that she cannot afford to lose. You will notice the changes quickly. Where her texts used to be short and casual, now they are longer, warmer, sometimes even emotional. She checks in on your day, asks questions she never bothered with before, and tries to pull intimacy back through conversation. She suddenly makes herself more available. If she once had no time, now she is free, whenever you are. If she used to keep you waiting, now she is waiting on you. Her actions might even turn physical. She may initiate affection more than before, send flirty pictures, or bring intimacy forward as a way to reel you back. To you, it feels like she is finally realizing your value. But in reality, it is often survival. She does not want to lose her position in your life, and this chase is her last shot at regaining it. Sometimes she will use vulnerability as bait. She may open up about fears, insecurities, or struggles hoping to awaken your protective side. She knows if she can trigger your instinct to care, she still has a way back in. But here's where men get caught. They mistake this sudden effort for genuine change. They believe she has finally chosen them wholeheartedly. But more often than not, it is not love. It is fear of losing control. It is ego, not devotion. Your move is to not rush. Let time prove whether this effort is real or just desperation. Slow is safe. If she truly respects and values you, her consistency will show beyond the moment of panic. If it is just fear, she will eventually burn out and return to her old patterns once she feels secure again. The Stoic philosopher Cleanthes, who succeeded Zeno as the head of the Stoic school, wrote that the fates guide the willing, but drag the unwilling. When you are willing to let time reveal her true intentions, you are guided toward clarity. When you rush, you are dragged into confusion. The sixth and final stage is acceptance and respect. When all else fails, panic, tests, masks, jealousy, even the desperate chase, something bigger sets in, acceptance. And this is where the entire game changes, because acceptance, though painful for her, carries something rare, respect. At first, it does not look like respect. It feels like silence. She stops texting so much. The flashy posts fade, the games quiet down. To many men, this feels like done. But look closer. It is not always about giving up. It is about realizing you are different. You did not fold under pressure. You did not crawl back when tested. You did not react when baited. You stood your ground, and women, whether they admit it or not, respect that deeply because in their world, most men break. Most men chase when threatened. Most men flinch at silence. But when you do not, you separate yourself from the crowd. You become the standard she did not expect. In this stage, her tone shifts. When she does reach out, it is less entitled, less arrogant, more genuine. She may ask about your life in a curious way, not to manipulate, but to understand. She may not even come back, but even if she walks, she carries that respect with her. You become the man she remembers, not because you begged, but because you refused to bend. And here is the beauty. Respect cannot be demanded. It cannot be faked. It is earned. Earned by staying calm, holding your line, and valuing your peace over her approval. That respect may not always bring her back, but it leaves a mark. She will never forget the man she could not control. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When your thoughts are colored by calm and self-respect, your soul reflects that, and others will feel it. They will sense that you are someone who cannot be easily shaken. And that sense of stability is what earns their respect. So here's the bottom line. When a woman realizes you have lost interest, her mind does not just shrug and move on. It runs through a storm of panic, tests, fake indifference, jealousy plays, desperate chasing, and finally, acceptance. Each stage tells you something about her psychology, but it also reveals something about you, because how you respond in each moment decides whether you stay in control or lose yourself in the game. Most men crack at the first sign of panic. She gets distant, they get nervous, and suddenly they are pouring their heart out in paragraphs, chasing, begging for attention. Others fall at the test, replying too fast, showing too much emotion, proving she still has a grip on their feelings. Some get hooked by the jealousy card, exploding in anger or doubling their effort to win her back. And when she finally puts on the "I don't care" mask, most men panic again, running back into her arms just to feel safe. But here's the truth, and it is not sweet. It is sharp. The man who reacts at every stage never earns respect. He might win her back for a while. He might get her attention temporarily, but deep down, she knows he is fragile. She knows she can bend him whenever she wants, and respect cannot live in that space. Now, flip the script. Imagine you do not flinch. Imagine you do not rush to explain yourself. Do not jump at every test. Do not spiral at every silence. You keep calm. You hold steady. You let her go through her cycle without letting it drag you off your center. What happens then? She learns something new, that you are not like the others, that your peace is not for sale, that you can love her, want her, even cherish her, but you will not let her control you. And that is when respect is born. Real respect. The kind that does not come from begging, but from discipline. The kind that makes her rethink not just the relationship, but the kind of man you are. She may come back, she may not. But either way, you walk out with your dignity intact. And dignity is worth more than any temporary attention. So, do not chase validation. Do not dance to every test. Do not hand over your calm. Let her world spin if it must, but keep your ground. Because at the end of it all, the man who can walk away with peace is the man she never forgets. The philosopher Epictetus taught that no great thing is created suddenly, and the kind of calm that earns respect is no exception. It is built through the accumulation of small choices, each one building on the last. Each time you choose calm over reaction, you build that calm. Each time you choose silence over explanation, you build that calm. And as you build it, it becomes part of who you are. It becomes part of your presence, and that presence is what will draw others to you. If this video hit home for you, type calm over chaos in the comments. Let me know which stage you have seen the most: panic, testing, fake indifference, jealousy, desperate chase, or acceptance. I read every single one. And before you go, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the bell icon, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it today. The more men who learn this truth, the less they will waste chasing storms that were never theirs to calm. Stay strong, stay steady, and always choose calm over chaos.